Good call. The Ford F-150 doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
That's a Class 9 with properly configured vehicles. Class is full-size pickup number 8500 pounds of EWR based on Ford recommendation.
Now get a 2019 F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months. Only at your Ford dealer. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 0% APR financing for 72 months is $13.89 per month per thousand. Finance regardless of down payment. Program number 21040. 2019 Ford F-150. Not available on Raptor. Residency restrictions apply. Taking retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer. Stock price 7119. See dealer for qualifications and complete details.
Top trending stories on WBBMNewsRadio.com.
A huge crowd is lining the route of Chicago's Pride Parade in the Boys Town neighborhood. Mayor Lori Lightfoot, he is one of 7 Grand Marshals and is the first mayor to ride a float in the parade that is celebrating its 50th year. More than 20 African migrants that had been held in Libya in a hangar filled with garbage and sewage have died from disease and hunger. Migrants and their advocates are accusing UN aid agencies of turning a blind eye to their plight or responding too slowly. The UN Refugee Agency says it has been unable to access parts of the facility. And in Hong Kong, thousands turned out for a rally in support of police today as the semi-autonomous territory readies for another day of protests expected tomorrow, which is the anniversary of the former British colony's return to China. WBBM News Time, 12:46, time to save on a patio set at the Great Escape. And sports now. Let's do your new time for sports, 12:46, sponsored by Meister Jameson Law. Here's George Hoffman.
Some things never cease to amaze, and on the south side, the Sox hope Dylan Cease can be amazing, or at least as good as advertised. He's going to make his long-awaited debut Wednesday in the first game of a day-night doubleheader against the Tigers.
Obviously, this will be a situation now where he comes in here and has to perform. You know, his last few outings over there, he's been working and trying to get himself back on track, and I think that probably everybody's looking for him to be challenged now. And, you know, everybody feels that this is the right time.
Rick Renteria following season Charlotte, where he struggled of late, giving up 13 runs in his last 12 1/3. His ERA there at 15 starts was 4.48. Meanwhile, another starter who's hit a few potholes takes to the mound against the Twins in a few minutes from now. Lucas Giolito still enters with a 10-2 mark and a 2.87 ERA, and along with James McCann, should be added to the All-Star team later this afternoon. Meanwhile, in Cincinnati, an error by Kyle Schwarber on a routine fly ball opened the gate. John Lester then served up a long 3-run homer to Eugenio Suarez. Reds lead 3-0 in the second. Cubs are trying to take this series before heading to Pittsburgh, where Kyle Hendricks returns Tuesday night after missing a few starts with a shoulder injury. Rookie Adbert Alzolay will start tomorrow. In London, the Yankees are beating up the Red Sox again. It's 12-4 now in the 8th inning. Who will the Bulls sign? GM John Paxson appears ready to make his move starting at 5. Free agency period begins.
We feel very confident going into free agency with this group we have and adding some what we feel can be really valuable pieces to this group.
The Bulls are expected to go after 2 players rather than pool most of their $23 million cap space on one. Meanwhile, Derrick Rose and the Pistons are working on a 2-year deal, and Kyrie Irving and the Nets talking 4-year max deal. NHL free agency begins tomorrow, but don't expect the Hawks to go after their former goalie Scott Darling, who was bought out by Carolina. With sports now at 16:46 on your home for the Bears, George Hoffman, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
WBBM News Time, 12:48. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, sponsored by Anthony Buick GMC in Gurnee. Here's Trent Erickson.
Things are looking pretty all right if you're on the Edens. You're at posted speeds with no delays at all either direction. There and outside of the Kennedy, some delays here. Cumberland to Harlem, and then from Diversey to the Vernon Interchange in 47 minutes from here to downtown. 33 from the Edens Junction, 20 in the express lanes, though. You can take those and save you a few. How about that? It's 36 to get to the airport. Inbound Eisenhower, heavy from Manheim to Austin, Sacramento on in, and 42 from Route 390 to downtown, 29 from Manheim. Outbound side is 31 to Route 390, just a slight delay around Harlem. On the inbound side of Stevenson, 38 minutes to 355 on Lakeshore Drive, 28 minutes from the Tri-State in, back out there at 20 to the Tri-State. And we've got Dan Ryan delays on your inbound side from Pershing to the Vernon Interchange. Makes for 26 minutes from 95 to downtown. Could be first. Outbound's 15 and pretty clear. 57 in the Bishop Ford, all right. Lakeshore Drive, solid both directions, really through the Grant Park area. And then northbound beyond that, the Oak Street curve on Montrose, as you might expect. And southbound approaching Chicago Avenue on the brakes, too. Now, northbound on the Tri-State, you're going to find delays between North Avenue and Balmoral, and southbound between I-80 and the Bishop Ford. Traffic is sponsored by Anthony Buick GMC in Gurnee. Save over $6,100 on a new 2019 GMC Acadia and over $5,200 on a new 2019 Buick Encore. Anthony Buick GMC GMC and Gurnee. GMC, they are professional grade. For property details, visit AnthonyGurnee.com and get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 at 105 out of bounds.
The WBBM AccuWeather forecast is calling for hot weather, humid, with a strong thunderstorm moving through this afternoon. The storm can produce flooding downpours and damaging winds, a high 90, cooler at the lakefront. And then tonight, partly cloudy, warm, and muggy with another strong thunderstorm likely late at night and into tomorrow morning, a low 71. We have 87 degrees right now at O'Hare, 87 at Midway. We have at DuPage Airport 91 degrees, in Waukegan 77, and at the lakefront 74 degrees. WBBM News Time 12:50.
Streaming live at WBBMNewsRadio.com and the Radio.com app. News Radio 780 at 105.9 FM.
Taliban insurgents killing 8 election officials in a bomb attack in the southern Kandahar province. The spokesperson for the Independent Election Commission says it happened last night as insurgents detonated 4 stolen Humvees full of explosives outside the hotel where workers were staying while conducting voter registration. At least 4 Afghan security officers were also killed. 18 people have been forced to seek shelter elsewhere after fire swept through their apartment building in the Humboldt Park neighborhood yesterday.
The Red Cross is assisting with finding housing for those affected by the fire in the 3-story apartment building in the 1300 block of First Maplewood. The Chicago Fire Department said while no occupants were injured, one firefighter was taken to a local hospital with a minor injury. An adjacent 3-story building was also damaged, contributing to the displacement. Jackie Flake, News Radio on 105.9 FM.
Las Vegas is gearing up for a major gambling event. Tens of thousands are going all in. Talking about the World Series of Poker in Las Vegas. The event is 50 years old, and this year more than 122,000 players are taking part. The big one, the $10,000 buy-in Texas Hold'em main event, begins Wednesday. Buy-ins for other events range from $400,000 to $100,000. Last year, players from 100 different countries watched the cards fly. Wendy Gillette, CBS News. Toy Story 4 is holding the top spot at the nation's box office again in its second weekend. The Walt Disney Company estimates the latest installment of the Toy Story franchise added just under $58 million from North American theaters. Globally, the film has already netted $496.5 million. The third Annabelle film, titled Annabelle Comes Home, took second place, while the weekend's other big release yesterday came in third. Coming up next, the Bloomberg Report, WBBM News Time, 12:52.
APR equals annual percentage rate. By member's choice, this institution is not federally insured. NMLS number 384759. Equal housing lender. Call for additional cost information. Other restrictions may apply. Are you in the market to buy, or do you currently own a home with a mortgage greater than $485,000? Is your mortgage rate greater than 4%? Would you like to create long-term mortgage stability while freeing up cash on a monthly basis? If you answered yes, Credit Union One can help. Credit Union One is offering its lowest rate ever on a jumbo loan at only 3.5% with an APR of 3.747%. These unprecedented rates won't last. Call 888-610-4591. 888-610-4591. And Credit Union One can provide a pre-approval within 1 day. That's 888-610-4591. Or apply online at creditunion1.org/jumbo. That's creditunion1.org/jumbo. Credit Union One. Better banking for all of us.
Hey, Chicago. We may not be able to help you with traffic on I-90, but we can help keep your engine running like new. New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline is engineered with 4 levels of defense to protect your engine against gunk,
magnitude 6.4. Its epicenter is northwest of L.A. in the Mojave Desert. No reports yet of any injuries. The hot dogs take center stage at this annual event. And on ESPN, Joey Chestnut did it again, eating 71 hot dogs and buns, taking his 12th title at Nathan's famous annual July 4th hot dog eating contest. The reigning champ on the women's side, Mickey Sudo, also won again. CBS News political analyst Leonard Steinhorn was more on an appeals court, telling the Trump administration that it cannot use Pentagon money to build a border wall.
He tried to use this executive authority to get the Defense Department to fund the wall. The courts have now stopped it. It doesn't mean they won't ultimately allow it, but they've temporarily stopped it. They've frozen his request. So he may wait it out and just simply use the fact that the courts are trying to stop the building of the wall as a talking point for his campaign.
The administration cannot build during this legal challenge. Check those dog treats. They could be linked to salmonella. CBS's Anne-Marie Green.
CBS San Francisco station KPIX reports a drug-resistant human salmonella outbreak is being linked to contact with pig-eared dog treats. The CDC is investigating. At least 45 people have been sickened in 13 states. 12 people were hospitalized. No deaths have been reported. The dog treat brands have not been identified. The illnesses began last November.
Miami Dolphins defensive tackle Kendrick Norton had to have his left arm amputated after a car crash early this morning. This is CBS News.
You know, Black Friday in July is back. Save big on business computers with Intel Core processors, plus servers and electronics. Call 877-MY-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusiness.
This is Chicago's all-news station. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
WBBM News Time 1:03. It is the 4th of July, Thursday. Good afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your holiday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lisa Fielding. Beautiful right now. Partly sunny skies, 86 degrees. South winds gusting at 20 miles an hour. AccuWeather says warm and humid, clouds and sun. Could get a thunderstorm. We'll keep you posted this afternoon for all your outdoor activities. Look for a high of 88. The AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. But first, our top local story on News Radio WBBM. Gunfire erupted late this morning in Chicago's WBBM Steve Miller is live near the scene with details.
Lisa, neighbors say the shooting started about 11 o'clock this morning. A woman who lives on Homan near Iowa was in her kitchen.
I hear folks shot, but I thought at first I thought they was firecrackers. And then I said, no, they don't sound like no firecrackers. That's about all I hear. And then I came into a door, and I see a lot of people around and hollering and crying and stuff.
The fire department says 1 dead, 3 wounded here in Humboldt Park. Live on Iowa Street at home in Steve Miller, News Radio 105.9 FM.
Detectives are investigating a woman's claim that she was raped early this morning in what used to be R. Kelly's recording studio.
The 31-year-old woman told police she was sexually assaulted by 3 men in what she believed to be Kelly's former studio on the 200 block of North Justine, and said she was thrown out the back door after the alleged attack. She was met by police and paramedics a few blocks away just after 4 a.m. The woman was treated at Rush University Medical Center. She was reported to have been in stable condition. R. Kelly vacated the studio in February. Police were seen there early this morning. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 FM.
A Marine veteran from the western suburbs wants you to exercise and remember fallen service members at the same time.
Gregory Kant says he did a lot of pull-ups when he was in the Marine Corps in the 90s, and he started a non-profit 4 years ago that pays tribute to fallen members of the armed services with a pull-up bar in a park that does not have one. Kant is the founder of Pull-Up Bars for Patriots. He dedicated a pull-up bar in a park in Wheaton on Memorial Day, and he tells the Naperville Sun that he wants to install another pull-up bar in a park in Naperville. The Naperville Park District says it supports the idea and is working on funding. Kant and the Park District will collaborate on a location. Rob Hart, News Radio 105.9 FM.
Before you think about setting off your own 4th of July display, a doctor at Central DuPage Hospital is offering some insight as to what fireworks injuries look like. PM surgeon Dr. Thomas Kiesler says the most common fireworks injury he sees at Northwestern CDH is sparkler burn. But he's worked on several people who tried to handle a firework that didn't detonate right away.
The tip of the thumb and 1 or 2 fingers
next to the thumb are injured, and we're left with a hand that's not ever going to work properly again.
He says fireworks injuries are much worse than severed fingers because those are usually clean cut.
An explosive is a blast that mangles the tissues, and those tissues don't have blood supply anymore. Blood vessels are difficult to reconnect.
He says those frequently require amputation. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9. County Chicago area communities have celebrated the 4th with their own annual fireworks show. Munster in Northwest India had its early fireworks displays last night in Centennial Park. Valerie Boylan crossed the state line from Lansing to bring her 3-year-old daughter as well as some nieces and nephews to watch the show.
Probably just how colorful they are, and just, you never know. It's something new. It's different.
Do they ever get scared by the boom?
I feel like when they first go off, they get a little bit scared, but as the show goes on, they realize it's a fun thing. They like it.
Reminder, you've got a complete list of fireworks shows throughout the area. You'll find all of them at WBBMNewsRadio.com/fireworks. Traffic and weather in a minute, plus the Shed Aquarium welcomes a new edition. WBBM News Time 107.
You know that feeling when things come together just right? At Land Rover of Naperville, we call that feeling a Patrick thing. We listen, answer all your questions, and offer Patrick Direct, where we come to your house, drop off a loaner car, and take yours in for service. When your car shopping and service experience is that great, it's a Patrick thing. Visit Land Rover of Naperville or online at LandRoverofNaperville.com.
You know MJ Miller and Company as the trusted family jeweler when trading in unwanted gold, silver, and diamonds. But did you know they also sell gold and silver coin and bullion? This is important due to the uncertainty in the market. Gold prices are on the rise, and so are the scams. Choosing the right gold dealer is almost as critical as the item itself. And trust MJ Miller with this important purchase, and rest easy knowing you are paying a fair price for your golden investment. Call 847-381-7900 or visit mjmillerjewelers.com.
Eyes to the Skies Festival is back. Lyle Community Park, July 4th through the 7th. Morning and evening hot air launches and tethered rides available. Live music, over 50 food vendors, and a massive kids area. Nightly fireworks and balloon glow. Visit eyestotheskies.org.
WBBM News Time 108. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, sponsored by Lyle Eyes to the Skies Balloon Festival. Here's Laura Vaughn. And some good information if you're headed to the beaches. Chicago beaches are pretty near capacity. Entrances may be closed, and Chicago police report that all the Montrose Beach entrances are blocked. That's causing a lot of confusion on Lakeshore Drive. Eden's a 19-minute trip in either direction between Lake Cook and the Kennedy. The spur is just a little busy through the roadwork south. Outbound Kennedy, 12 to the junction, 25 to O'Hare. Half an hour in from O'Hare. 20 in from the junction. Express lanes will save you 8 minutes. Eisenhower all clear outbound. 16 to Manheim, 29 to 390. Inbounds backed up into downtown. 34 in from 390, 21 from Manheim. Stevenson, a nice ride. Half an hour between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. 55 northbound in Will County is heavy from Lorenzo Road to Fort Arsenal. Ongoing roadwork in the left lane. Dan Ryan, 17 minutes outbound, slow approaching 31st, and that is because of the Suns game. Inbounds a little slow into downtown. 15 minutes. I-57 in the Bishop Forge, 15 minutes in either direction. Lakeshore Drive is kind of backed up in both directions between North Avenue and Soldier Field, so through Grant Park and around the Oak Street Beach, and northbound, heavy from Montrose to Hollywood. That's people trying to go to the beach, but the entrances are blocked. Tri-State southbound, heavy from I-80 to 8094 and beyond. Northbound, Lake Cook to Deerfield with ongoing roadwork. Rest of your Illinois tollways, Route 53 and I-80 doing fine. 8094 eastbound, it's spots of delay from the Bishop Ford to Burr, and then I-65 to just before Ripley. I-65 in the Indiana Toll Road. Okay, get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM. For the rest of your 4th of July holiday, very warm and humid, clouds and sun, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm. We'll be watching AccuWeather all afternoon for you. We'll let you know a high of 88. Maybe some showers and thunderstorms tonight, mostly cloudy, warm and muggy overnight. A low of 74, much the same tomorrow. Another warm day, an afternoon chance for showers and thunderstorms. The high again in the upper 80s. Cooling down though Saturday. Look for a high of 78. Right now 86 at O'Hare, 86 Lakefront. WBBM News Time 110. The Shed Aquarium is welcoming a new addition to its beluga whale family. 38-year-old Mayak gave birth to a healthy calf on Wednesday. Shortly after the birth, the calf swam to the surface and took its first breath. The two then began to swim together and bond. The sex of the calf is yet to be determined. Animal Care estimates the calf to be about 5 feet in length and weighs about 150 pounds. Kamalu was born in 2012. Kamalu was previously the most recent beluga whale Bertha Chad making this new arrival the first beluga calf at the aquarium in 7 years. Some Indiana educators are feeling the pressure of mandated mental health training for all of its employees.
Indiana educators say it's complicated. The Terre Haute Tribune Star says teachers are required to undergo regular training for suicide prevention, child abuse, and neglect. Now, all employees who have contact with students are now required to undergo seizure awareness. Educators tell the paper that lawmakers continue to add layers of responsibility, but they fail to provide schools with the funding and the time needed to implement these training sessions. Keith Johnson, News Radio 105.9.
For the second time this year, a rabid bat has been found in Will County.
Earlier, a rabid bat was found on Florence Avenue in Stager. The latest one was found this week on the driveway of a home on Aberdeen Road in Frankfort. The Will County Health Department says neither the couple nor the 2 dogs at the Frankfort home nor anyone living near the Stager home came into contact with the rabid bat. If you encounter a rabid animal, the Will County Health Department says report it immediately to animal control, stay away from it, and make sure any pets weren't bitten. It's also recommended to make sure dogs and cats are up to date on rabies vaccinations. Will County had 19 confirmed rabid bats last year. Jim Goodis, News Radio 105.9 FM.
The AccuWeather 5-day forecast plus today in sports with Zach WBB on News Time 112.
Happy Independence Day, America. From Chicago's all-news station, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
The Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram exclusive just announced with Chrysler Capital. 0% financing on new Jeep products. New Jeep Cherokee Latitudes, Sports, Limiteds, Jeep Compasses, Renegades, 0% on all of them. Jeep Grand Cherokee Limiteds, Overlands, Summits, 0% on all of them. And make no payments till October. 500 new Jeeps direct from Detroit have just arrived at Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Oklahoma with 0% financing. Bank reps on site with $25 million to lend. You will drive home today in a new Jeep at Man Carey's. New Jeep Cherokees, Latitudes, Sports, Limiteds, 0%. New Jeep Grand Cherokees, Limiteds, Overlands, Summits, 0%. Jeep Compasses, Renegades, yep, 0%. And make no payments till October. Don't forget, this Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and Chrysler Capital exclusive offer can only be found in one place and one place only. Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on 95th Street in Oklahoma.
Credit on select models plus tax, non-license and not fee.
Happy Independence Day from Tom's Price Home. Hi, this is Scott Price, inviting you to save 45% off any one piece of Tom's Price furniture during our 45 off for the 4th sale, now through Monday, July 8th. Celebrate with savings on sofas, tables, mattresses, seasonal outdoor furniture, and made in the USA Stickley. Save 50% on hand-knitted rugs in our new Tom's Price Home Rug Studio. Visit tomsprice.com for directions and store hours. All stores open July 4th, noon to 5 p.m.
What are you doing behind that tree?
I'm playing hide and seek with the sun.
Oh, who's winning?
I don't know. We're both hiding. Did you know solar energy works even when the sun is hiding behind clouds?
I did not.
Solar works when it's cold too.
How did you get so smart?
I am in 2nd grade.
Explore your solar options. Learn more at ComEd.com/solar. ComEd, powering life.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you can save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did. Just maybe someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov and save lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
You make a million tough business decisions every day. So here's the easiest one of the year. Dell's Black Friday in July is back and bigger than ever. Get no-brainer deals on the very latest computers with Intel Core processors and a huge selection of servers, electronics, and more. All with free shipping on everything. To make your decision even easier, Dell's Small Business Technology Advisors can help you find just the right tech. Call 877-BUY-DELL. That's an easy call to make at 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusiness.
WBBM News Time 115, time for the AccuWeather 5-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Bob Larson.
It's a very warm and humid on this Independence Day. Intervals of clouds and sun, and although it has been rain-free to this point this afternoon, some communities will still have to deal with a shower and heavy thunderstorm later this afternoon. And early tonight, high today 88, low tonight just 74. Still warm, still humid tomorrow. Mix of clouds and hazy sun with a shower and thunderstorm. Best chance coming in the afternoon at a high of 88. Cooler weather over the weekend. Variably cloudy and breezy. Saturday. A shower to I-78. Partly sunny on Sunday, I-78. Sunshine and pleasant Monday, I-82. A little warmer Tuesday. Partly sunny, I-84. The lakefront temperature 86. Midway 87. O'Hare 86. North Gresham it's 87. Headed to a partly sunny high of 88. I'm AccuWeather's Bob Larson on Chicago's weather station. News Radio 780. 105.9 FM.
WBBM News Time, 116. Our new time for sports, sponsored by Chicago Title Land Trust Company. Happy 4th of July to George Hoffman.
Same to you, Lisa. Leo Epstein is anything. He's candid. It wasn't exactly bouquets he's throwing at the Cubs these days.
I'm not gonna, walk down the street, humming my favorite song, sort of breathing in the fresh summer air while the team is playing like there's only anyone. I don't think you're gonna find anyone around the team in a good mood right now.
When you have president of the Cubs as your title, you have the right to be peeved, and Epstein is, who he told 670 to score.
Come out of the chute sloppy, like from the first inning. Our first inning has been terrible. Seemingly we're going down, 1, 2, 3 without a fight. We're sort of making a lot of mental errors early and getting ourselves in a zone and not fighting back. A lot of these games have been over and just kind of turn the page to the next inning, try to do better, but that's not us.
Yeah, but it is the Cubs of late. They have fashioned a terrible road record as they try to avoid being swept at 4 by the Pirates. Jose Quintana pitches. Chris Bryant returns to the lineup. But he's playing right because Jason Hayward is still out. Meanwhile, on the south side, Sox and Tigers underway in the final game of their series. If the Sox win, they're back to 500. Ronaldo Lopez on the hill. And Rafa Nadal trying to fend off crazy and endlessly talented Nick Kyrgios at Wimbledon, where he's up 2-1. Roger Federer and Sam Querrey advance, but fellow American John Isner is out, as is the ladies' 5th seed Angela Kerber. The top seed Ash Barty won, as did Serena Williams and Sloane Stevens. Sports now at 16:46, and your home for the Bears. George Hoffman, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
WBBM News Time 18. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, sponsored by True Green. Here's Laura Vaughn, and here are your travel times. Eve was a 19-minute trip in either direction between Lake Cook and the Kennedy Junction. That's great. Spur, just a little busy. Through the roadwork zone, don't reroute yourself. It's just a little sluggish. Kennedy, 12 to the junction, 25 out to O'Hare. Slow from Irving Park to the junction and Lawrence to Harlem. Inbound is heavy from North Avenue to the Jane Byrne interchange. Half an hour in from O'Hare, 20 from the junction. Express will save you 8. Outbound Eisenhower, all clear, 29 to 390. Inbound backed up into downtown, 34 in from 390, 21 for Manheim. Stevenson, nice, half an hour between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. Northbound I-55 and Wilcox is jammed from Lorenzo to Arsenal with roadwork in the left lane. Dan Ryan, 15 in and out of downtown from 95th Street. I-57 in the Bishop 40 to 15 in either direction. Park, southbound heavy approaching Chicago. Northbound heavy, Montrose to Hollywood. That is because Montrose Beach is closed. Full to capacity, a lot of people expecting to exit. Slowing down, not able to exit. Interstate Tollway northbound, so from Lake Cook to Deerfield Road with ongoing work in North Latin Lane. The rest of your Illinois tollways, Route 53 and I-80 are fine. Getting into Northwest Indiana, 8094 eastbound on the brakes from the Bishop Ford and Chunks to Calumet and I-65 to before Ripley. 65 and the Indiana Toll Road are okay. Traffic is sponsored by True Green. Just call True Green. They'll eliminate biting mosquitoes in your yard within 24 hours of application guaranteed. Call 866-TRUE-GREEN or visit truegreen.com/mosquito-free summer. Additional restrictions may apply. See truegreen.com for details. Get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 80 and 105.9 FM. The rest of your Independence Day, warm and humid so far, pretty beautiful right now. No rain to be seen right now, although it remains in the forecast this afternoon. We'll keep our eyes on it with a high of 88. The showers thunderstorm around early tonight and mostly cloudy, warm and muggy overnight. A low of 72. Tomorrow, much the same, clouds and sun. Hot and humid, a chance for showers, the high again around 88. 85 degrees now at O'Hare, 87 at Midway. We've got 86 lakefront. WBBM News Time 120. Our top story this hour, an earthquake has shaken the Los Angeles area with preliminary reports saying it was a 6.4 magnitude quake. Alberta Linear, a Chicagoland native who now lives in Vegas, tells WBBM she felt shaking from the earthquake in Southern California.
I felt all this heavy shaking. It felt like rolling too, like it was rolling underneath me. And everything was shaking, this whole building, apartment building that I lived in. And we felt it, and I got ready to get up, and it wasn't over.
Much more on the earthquake coming up from CBS News at 1:31. Well, you may think you're the king or queen of the grill, but some experts have a little advice to help make your barbecue experience safe and delicious.
barbecue. Taste of Home says even the most experienced grillers can make mistakes, starting with not giving the grill enough space. Make sure you're not near trees or awnings. Flying embers can start a fire. Keep kids 3 feet away from the grill even if you're all done grilling the meat. Don't pile too much meat on the grill. The more fat that drips onto the flame, the greater the chance of a flare-up. Grill in small batches, and while the meat might look done, experts say it's best to play it safe and use the food thermometer. Food is safe only after it's reached a high enough temperature to kill harmful bacteria. Chops, roasts, ribs, 145 degrees. Chicken legs and thighs, 170 to 175. Beef, 165 degrees. Felicia Middlebrook, News Radio 105.9 FM.
The city of Chicago is getting ready to negotiate its franchise agreement with ComEd. The agreement between the utility company and the city is up for renewal. It's the third time in 72 years that there have been negotiations, reports Crane. The new deal should be completed by sometime next year after getting approval from the state and city council. According to Crane, the opportunity to renew the franchise agreement gives the mayor the opportunity to renegotiate the franchise fee. Miriam Stone, News Radio 105.9 FM. Bloomberg Business is next. WBBM News Time 122. Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I've been on it for a few years. I've had not severe Lyme disease, but it would show up on blood tests, and I would go to my infectious doctor once a year, and he told me the last 2 years, you don't have to come anymore. It doesn't even show up. And he said to me, I know you're going to say it's from Balance of Nature, and it is. I don't think there's anything, and I've studied nutrition for a long time, that this product is so superior. It's in a class by itself. I can't say enough about it. I just love it.
From now until July 4th, receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Also receive an extra $10 off any additional set of fruits and veggies you purchase. This offer will expire, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago News. WBBM News Time 123, our new time of business. From Bloomberg, here's Joe Doniger. In the years since Toys R Us shut its doors, the toy industry has struggled.
The last holiday season is a lot of those sales simply went away.
Gateway Investor Relations Sean McGowan says the new normal for the toy industry may now be lower sales.
A number of them came up short in their holiday sales and even in the early part of this year.
So where does that leave the toy makers? McGowan says that depends.
By and large, the larger companies will be able to survive because they do have the brands that they want.
Still, the head of MGA Entertainment predicts Mattel will go the way of Toys R Us. Isaac Larian spoke after Barbie's makers spurred 2 offers to merge with the Bratz doll maker. He thinks Mattel will lose value due to competition from new Frozen and other dolls. McGowan says those smaller companies are more vulnerable.
The companies that are likely to feel more of a lasting lethal pinch are those that were really only kind of in business because you had a year-round major toy specialty store.
He said some of them did about a third of their business with Toys R Us. With business now at 23 and 53 past each hour from the Bloomberg Newsroom, Joe Doniger, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
It's Ravinia Summer. Don't miss performances by the Chicago Side Story, Jennifer Hudson, Well-Strung Quartet, and so many more. Tickets to the entire season are on sale now. Get tickets only at ravinia.org. See you on the lawn.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I want to use it too to suck the snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to teens, visit NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit NHTSA.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. American Mattress.
The biggest 4th of July sale ever is going on now at locally owned American Mattress. Get a free adjustable power base upgrade with any premium set. Choose from every top brand, including Tempur-Pedic, Beauty Rest, Sealy, and Serta. Plus, save up to $500 on a huge selection of the all-new Tempur-Pedic models. And get a competition crusher Queen Pillow Top mattress for only $299. The 4th of July sale is on now. Shop the name you've trusted for over 30 years. Family-owned American Mattress.
At Fidelity, we believe nothing should come between you and your money. So we're introducing zero account fees with zero minimum settlement of an account. All because we want you to invest with zero trade-offs. Visit Fidelity.com/values. Learn more. Zero account minimum with zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Expenses charged by investments such as funds and managed accounts and for commissions, interest charges, or other expenses for transactions may still apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Darling, hold the line. I got a darling, hold the line. My own star. I got a darling, hold the line. Positive to ear, the TV magnet. Darling, off the top, so cozy. I'm grinning cheek to cheek. Darling, hold the line.
Charmin Ultra Soft is softer than ever. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
WBBM News Time 127. Here's a little history lesson for you today to coincide with Independence Day. Our flag is one of the prominent symbols of American identity and pride. So have you ever wondered why the Stars and Stripes have the same colors as the British Union Jack, the country we rebelled against? Smithsonian Museum historian Anthea Harding. There's a certain kind of both alignment and patriotism when you take the older colors and make your own design. There's also a practical reason. The dyes of indigo and cochineal, blue and red, were the easiest dyes to get the deepest colors. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News. Joey John's Chestnut, 871 wieners and buns to secure his 12th title at Mason's famous annual July 4th hot dog eating contest. In front of a crowd of fans and facing 17 opponents, the California native came close but didn't manage to beat his own record of 74 dogs set last year. However, he far exceeded his nearest competitors. Mickey Sudo had already won the women's competition by chomping down 31 dogs. She said she felt wonderful as she walked off the stage. WBBM News Time 128. Traffic and weather together on the 8 and here's Laura Vaughn. Here are your travel times. Evens a 19-minute trip in either direction between Lake Cook and the Kennedy. Intermittent delays on the spur, nothing to avoid. Outbound to Kennedy, 10 to the junction, 22 to O'Hare, 28 in from O'Hare, 18 from the junction, 12 in the Express. O'Hare extension a little busy leaving the airport terminal. Eisenhower, 16 to Manheim, 29 to 390. That's as fast as it goes. Inbound a little busy into downtown, 34 in from 390, 21 from Manheim. Stevenson all clear, a half an hour in either direction between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. Dan Ryan, 15 minutes outbound, 18 inbound, slow into downtown. I-57 in the 415 in either direction. Lakeshore Drive, sluggish in both directions, getting through Grant Park, southbound approaching Chicago. Northbound heavy from Montrose to Hollywood. Chicago police reporting Montrose Beach is closed. It's full to capacity. There's a lot of confused people trying to find their way around there. Tri-State northbound on the brakes from Lake Cook to Deerfield with ongoing road work in the left lane. Rest of your Illinois tollways, Adams, Reagan, Veterans 390, all fine, as is Route 53 and I-80. And through Indiana, 8094 eastbound on the brakes from the Bishop Ford to Calumet, then from I-65 to before Ripley. The Indiana Toll Road and I-65 are moving at a decent pace. Humboldt Park, Holman is closed between Augusta and Chicago with police activity. Kenzie is your alternate. Get traffic and weather together on the 8s every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM. Well, the rest of your Independence Day, I feel this is very warm and humid, clouds, sun, a beautiful day for anything you're planning outside for now. A slow-moving thunderstorm could come into the area right now. We see some spotty showers, but nothing too concerning. But we'll keep our eyes to the skies today for you with a high of 88 tonight. Warm and muggy overnight, a low of 74. Much of the same tomorrow. Hot and humid, chance for thunderstorms, a high again around 88. WBBM News Time 1:30.
This is Chicago's all-news station. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM and WBBMNewsRadio.com.
Good afternoon. Happy 4th of July. Stories on News Radio WBBM. An earthquake strikes the Mojave Desert, now rattling a large swath of Southern California. CBS News is next with the latest.
This is Mike Krauser with the mayor at the 4th of July parade in Hyde Park.
Jesse Smollett wants the city's lawsuit against him kicked over to a different court. And a Cubs minor league team changes its mind about a flag photo that they tweeted out. WBBM Sports.
This is George Hoffman. Tigers, White Sox scoreless in the second. Cubs try to avoid a 4-game sweep at Pittsburgh. Serena Williams and Roger Federer advance at Wimbledon.
So far, a beautiful summer 4th of July, warm and humid with a high in the 80s, a chance for thunderstorms. Tonight, a low of 74. Right now, we've got 88 degrees now at 131.
CBS News special report. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake has struck Southern California.
I woke up, I felt the building rolling and looked at the ceiling and I saw one
side to side. That man in Los Angeles, so its epicenter was about 150 miles northeast of L.A. in the town of Ridgecrest.
I talked with a woman who works in a cafe there. She was at work at the time of this earthquake. She said they felt the shaking very hard. They said it was very scary for them. It knocked over a refrigerator, a Coke machine. They said they got water spraying in some locations, so they got a lot of cleanup to do.
CBS News correspondent Carter Evans is in Los Angeles.
There was this rolling feeling that seemed to gain momentum for a while.
The U.S. Geological Survey says this quake is the largest in Southern California in 20 years. It was even felt as far away as Las Vegas, which is 240 miles from the Mojave Desert epicenter. CBS News special report on Matt Pipe.
WBBM News Channel 132 here at home. The Hyde Park neighborhood held its annual 4th of July parade today, and leading it was Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
The mayor was greeted warmly by Hyde Park residents, some lining the route, many more marching.
You know, the people in Hyde Park are really wonderful. It's a great, diverse neighborhood. Lots of spots of activity. 53rd Street has been transformed, but it's really nice to walk through the neighborhood. And unlike a lot of parades, the people from the neighborhood also march in the place. So it's a great place to be on the 4th of July.
Mayor Lightfoot weighed in on the controversial celebration in the nation's capital.
I'm reminded of what my mother used to say. If you don't have any good things to say, don't say anything. That celebration in Washington, D.C., I lived there for a couple of years. It was just a time of patriotism and families gathering. It should not be politicized.
At the 4th on 53rd Parade in the Hyde Park neighborhood, Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 FM.
The city of Chicago's lawsuit against Jesse Smollett is still alive, and lawyers for the actor want it moved to a different court. The city is suing Smollett for $130,000 in overtime that was paid to cops who investigated an alleged attack that Smollett claimed was a hate crime. Police later determining it was a staged attack, with Smollett facing multiple charges that were abruptly dropped by the state's attorney. According to the Sun-Times, federal court could be a better option for Smollett. Meantime, a decision to appoint a special prosecutor in Cook County was made last month in order to reopen Smollett's case and find out how and why charges were dropped. Miriam Snow, News Radio 105.9 FM. We're hearing from Chicago Cubs minor league affiliate on the controversy over an early version of the American flag.
Tennessee Smokies posted a tweet showing a 13-star Betsy Ross flag design on their infield while calling out Colin Kaepernick, the former NFL quarterback known for his protests against racial injustice, recently convinced Nike to scrap a shoe design featuring the flag, which has been embraced by some white nationalist groups. After swift backlash online, the team deleted the post and apologized, saying it was meant to be a lighthearted take on a current situation. Dave Kerner, News Radio 105.9 FM.
It's reported that Chicago police think the same gun that was used to kill 2 men on the Bar North Side last year was used again later in 2 other shootings miles away.
It was last fall when 2 men were killed in separate incidents in Rogers Park. Both were shot in the head at close range, a 73-year-old gay man and a 24-year-old Orthodox Jew. Police have said the same person most likely committed both murders, which are still unsolved. Police have determined the same gun was used later in 2 West Side shootings. Bullet casings found at the scene reportedly matched those from the Rogers Park killing. The Tribune says police believe the Rogers Park gunman may have gotten rid of the firearms soon after the murders, after the city's attention was focused on the 2 execution-style killings. Steve Miller, News Radio 105.9 FM.
WBBM News Channel 135. The planned deportation raids that President Trump postponed nearly 2 weeks ago could happen this weekend. The Pilsen neighborhood's Lincoln Methodist Church is one place offering a refuge for undocumented immigrants. Sarah Walker is a student pastor there.
We're taking these threats from Trump and his administration very seriously. We've seen in the past that he lives up to his promises of deporting thousands of people.
However, Trump supporters in Illinois say the raids and separation of immigrant families are no different than what's been happening over the last 20 years in terms of deportation. The fireworks shows all over the Chicago area tonight from Aurora to Zion, A to Z, and you can find them listed at WBBMNewsRadio.com. But last night, big crowds turned out for the show in the Northwest Indiana community of Munster.
You might think the beautiful colors, the spectacular displays, or even the deafening sound of the fireworks would be the highlights of Munster's fireworks show. But like many parents, Mallory Boylan of Lansing got a much bigger thrill from something else.
Favorite part is probably sitting with the kids and seeing their faces light up. When their faces light up, my face lights up. Makes me happy to see.
And as the sky over Munster Centennial Park burst into a pyrotechnic spectacular, you could see many parents with their eyes fixed not on the fireworks, but on their children's mesmerized faces. At Centennial Park in Munster, Jim Goodis, News Radio 105.9 FM.
A reminder, you can stream WBBM through our website on the radio.com app, or just ask Alexa or Google Home to play WBBM News Radio. Coming up, low gas prices and another look at traffic and weather together. WBBM News Time 1:36.
Things aren't great, and she knows it. But you're not alone. You may be one of the millions of men suffering from low testosterone and/or erectile dysfunction. If you're fatigued, having trouble losing weight, are irritable, or even depressed, or more concerning, having difficulty obtaining or maintaining an erection, we should talk, because there's hope. At New Mill Medical Center, we decided it was time to give men real solutions to their most real problems, centered around face-to-face, confidential, comprehensive, compassionate, and personalized care. With our individually effective ED treatments, cutting-edge testosterone replacement therapies, and our never-ending drive to help men feel like themselves again, we know great mornings are just around the corner.
For great mornings, call New Mail Medical at 847-201-4077. That's 847-201-4077. Or visit them at newmail.com. That's NUMALE.com.
Now, the lowest gas prices from News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM, WBBM.
Sponsored by ShermanDodge.com. Visit ShermanDodge.com and choose from a great selection of brand new Ram pickups at $14,000 off MSRP. That's ShermanDodge.com. In Bensenville, the Thorntons and Bussey and Foster has gas for $2.95 a gallon. In Lansing, the Sitco at 176th Place in Torrance has gas for $3.04. If you see a low gas price these days, give us a call, 312-409-4277. WBBM News Time, 1:38. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, sponsored by Gerber Collision and Glass. Here's Laura Vaughn. Do expect street closures in the suburbs for parades and fireworks, and in the downtown area for Taste of Chicago. Chicago features near capacity and the entrances may be closed. Chicago police report all Montrose Beach entrances are currently blocked. Edens at 19 minutes in either direction between Lake Cook and the Kennedy. The spur is just a little busy through the roadwork zone. Kennedy 12 to the junction, 25 to O'Hare, half an hour in from O'Hare, 20 from the junction express lane will save you 8. Eisenhower, all clear outbound, a 29-minute trip up to 390, 34 in from 390 with a little backup into downtown, 21 in from Manheim. The Stevenson, half an hour in either direction between 355 and Lakeshore Drive, that's as it goes. I-55 further south in Will County, this is south of I-80, northbound on the brakes from Lorenzo before Arsenal. There's some ongoing long-term roadwork in the left lane. Dan Ryan, 15 minutes out to 95th Street, 18 inbound with a backup into downtown. I-57 and the Bishop Ford, 15 in either direction. Lakeshore Drive tight in both directions through Grant Park. Southbound heavy approaching Chicago. Northbound, Montrose to Hollywood. Tri-State Tollway northbound, slow from Lake Cook to Deerfield with ongoing roadwork in the left lane. Jane Adams, Ronald Reagan Veterans Memorial, 390 tollways, all okay. No big backups on Route 53 or I-80. Heading into northwest Indiana, 8094 eastbound, slow from the Bishop Ford to Calumet, and I-65 before Ridley. Traffic is sponsored. You get it to Gerber when you back into someone who's backing out. That's when you get it to Gerber. Locations throughout Chicagoland. Visit GerberCollision.com or call 8777-GERBER. Find your nearest Gerber location. Get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
WBBM AccuWeather. Very warm and sticky the rest of this afternoon. Clouds beside a shower. Heavy thunderstorm in some areas. High 88. Still a shower thunderstorm around tonight. Muggy with a 74. Mix of clouds sun tomorrow. Very warm and humid with a shower thunderstorm. High again 88. The late front temperature 86. Midway 87. Over here 86. Into Broadview it's 86. I'm AccuWeather's Bob Larson on Chicago's weather station. News Radio 780. 105.9 FM.
WBBM News Time 140.
Maybe tanks do make sense. This is Dave Ross on the CBS News Radio Network, presented by Progressive Insurance. Today, we celebrate the Declaration of Independence, but we have to acknowledge that it was far from perfect. It was meant to apply only to rich landowners. It describes Native Americans as merciless savages. It has a glaring inconsistency. Zero mention of slavery at a time when there were over 500,000 slaves. Yes, I know the founders were creatures of their times and had no idea slavery might be wrong, except they absolutely knew it was wrong. know they do because Thomas Jefferson's original declaration included a paragraph condemning slavery, calling it an execrable commerce. And he put that in because he knew that any educated reader would find it hypocritical for rich colonists to complain about King George's despotic tyranny when they themselves were enslaving more than 500,000 people. But he also needed the signatures of Georgia and South Carolina, as well as the northern states, who got rich on the slave trade. So Jefferson quietly deleted the offending paragraph. He knew that signing up allies for the fight to come was more important than rhetorical consistency. Which tells me that maybe it is appropriate to make the 4th a military celebration. The moral argument for independence was pretty weak. The real purpose of the document was to raise an army that could win. Dave Ross on the CBS News Radio Network.
Progressive Insurance. Pick from a range of coverage options with the Name Your Price tool to find a price that works for you. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Available anywhere, anytime with the radio.com app. Or say, play WBBM News Radio to listen on smart speakers. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
Repair, remodel, renovate. With Mega Pros, any questions on your home repair or improvements answered fast and friendly by a pro. One Mega Call does it all. Call 847-658-8989 or go to megapros.com. That's megapros.com.
Dental implants from Eon Clinics. You'll start every day with a smile. Smile and stop trying to hide your mouth. Smile and eat your favorite foods again. The world is a better place when you start smiling again. For a free consultation, call 844-365-SMILE or online at eonclinics.com today. That's eonclinics.com. Dental implants from Eon Clinics. Smile for life.
This is John Greenhouse, and if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, Power Swaps is the answer. In 5 minutes, you'll see 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. Even better, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes, and you're done. To try Power Swaps, call 1-800-679-0969. Your bright, white smile will have your friends talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free. 1-800-679-0969. That's 1-800-679-0969.
You do it right to make updates to your home. Lowe's does it right too with July 4th savings throughout the store. $15 off gallon cans and $45 off 5-gallon pails via Lowe's gift card rebate when you buy select paint today. Get up to 40% off select appliance special values. And with your Lowe's Advantage card, ask for up to 24 months no interest on purchases of $19.99 or more. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offer valid through 7/10. Credit offer valid through 7/7. Minimum purchase required subject to credit approval and can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply. U.S. only.
The Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram exclusive just announced with Chrysler Capital. 0% financing on new Jeep products. New Jeep Cherokee Latitude, Sports, Limited, Jeep Compasses, Renegades. 0% on all of them. Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, Overlands, Summits. 0% on all of them. And make no payments till October. 500 new Jeeps direct from Detroit have just arrived at Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Oak Lawn with 0% financing. Bank reps on site with $25 million to lend. You will drive home today in a new Jeep at Man Carey's. New Jeep Cherokees, Latitudes, Sports, Limited, 0%. New Jeep Grand Cherokees, Limited, Overlands, Summits, 0%. Jeep Compasses, Renegades, yep, 0%. And make no payments till October. Don't forget, this Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and Chrysler Capital exclusive offer can only be found in one place and one place only. Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on 95th Street in Oak Lawn. Credit on select models plus tax, title, license, and not paid.
Top trending stories on WBBMNewsRadio.com.
The strongest earthquake in decades struck Southern California in the past hour and 15 minutes, measuring at 6.6. Crews responding to at least 24 medical and fire incidences near Ridgecrest. Chicago police report the city's beaches are nearing capacity on this holiday. The main parking lot at 63rd Street Beach already blocked off. President Trump's 4th of July celebration has drawn thousands to the nation's capital. The president is set to address the nation beginning at 5:30 Chicago time. And a new baby beluga at the shed. The aquarium's 38-year-old beluga whale, Maya, gave birth to a healthy calf yesterday. WBBM News Time, 1:46. Our new time for sports, sponsored by Spot Hero. Here's George Hoffman.
Leads into the third down the south side, but the White Sox and Tigers are scoreless. teams seek the sweep. The 500 mark again, Ronaldo Lopez pitching. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, the Cubs grope with the reality. They've lost 15 of their last 23 as they try to avoid the unsightly 4-game sweep. Worse yet, they've dropped 16 of their last 20 on the road.
Yeah, we're not putting a product on the field lately that is worthy of the fan support that we get. That's worthy of the investment that, you know, the Ricketts have made. And it's just not up to our own standard. It's up to the standard of the players in uniform who played so hard to establish the Cubs as, you know, an elite team in Major League Baseball with certain expectations. They all know that. I know it, and you know it.
Team President Theo Epstein on 670 to score, and he's threatening major changes, but will one of them be in the dugout? Joe Madden drops out Jose Quintana while getting Chris Bryant back, though he's in right, but with Jason Hayward still out. Cubs are lucky to remain a game back of the Brewers. They've lost 10 of their last 16. They're losing at Cincinnati right now, 1-0. That game is in the second. The Nats beat the Marlins 5-2. Don't look now, they've won 26 of their last 36. Roger Federer and Sam Querrey, winners in Wimbledon. John Isner lost to the ladies' 5th seed Angelique Kerber, but the top seed Ash Barty won, as did Serena Williams and Sloane Stephens. It's hard to believe it's been 80 years since Lou Gehrig gave his dramatic farewell speech at Yankee Stadium.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. And I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
2 years later, Gehrig died of ALS, commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, and unfortunately a cure has yet to be found. Sports now at 16:46 on your home for the Bears. George Hoffman, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
WCBM News Time 148. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, sponsored by Goodwill. Here's Laura Vaughn.
Lakefront parking lots are completely full, and the city is urging people to use public transportation. Expressway, a 19-minute trip in either direction between Lake Cook and the Kennedy. The spur, just a little congested through the roadwork stops. Nothing to reroute. The Kennedy 10 to the junction, 23 out to O'Hare just to back up from Lawrence to Harlem. Inbound is heavy from the Ohio feeder into the Jane Byrne interchange. 25 in from O'Hare, 15 from the junction, 8 in the Express. Eisenhower, all clear outbound, 29 to 390 inbound, backed up into downtown, 34 in from 390, 21 from Manheim. Stevenson, thumbs up, half an hour in either direction between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. I-55 northbound south of I-80 is a flow from Lorenzo Road to Arsenal. Roadwork in the left lane. Outbound Dan Ryan, flow from 87 to the split, 18 minutes. Inbound 19 minutes, backed up into downtown. I-57 and the Ford, each running about 15 in either direction between I-80 and the Dan Ryan. Lakeshore Drive, sluggish through Grant Park, southbound approaching Chicago, northbound Montrose to Hollywood. Tri-State northbound on the brakes from Lake Cook to Deerfield. Ongoing roadwork. Jane Addams, Ronald Reagan Veterans Memorial, 390 tollways, all okay, as is Route 53 and I-80. You're headed into northwest Indiana, 8094 eastbound is slow from I-65 to before Ripley, and I-94 and I-65 and the Indiana Toll Road are all right. Traffic is sponsored by Goodwill. Every day, the average Goodwill store puts over 4,000 new items up for sale, and every one of those items sold in a Goodwill store donation center helps someone get a job. You shop, train, people work. Visit AmazingGoodwill.com for a Goodwill store near you. Get traffic and weather together on the 8s every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
So far, so good for the 4th of July, I must say. Very warm and humid, though. But head outside, enjoy the cool breeze along the lakefront if you're lucky to be downtown. A slow-moving thunderstorm could move into this afternoon, though. We'll be watching and let you know with a high of 88. But in the meantime, outside looks pretty nice today for Independence Day. A shower, thunderstorm around early tonight. Warm and muggy overnight, a low of 74. Then much the same tomorrow, clouds and sun with a chance for an afternoon shower. Thunderstorm mainly later, high again in the upper 80s. Right now, partly sunny across the board. 86 degrees at O'Hare, 87 Midway, 86 Kankakee, 87 Morris, 86 Lakefront. WBBM News Time, 1:50.
The only way to take WBBM with you is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen anytime, anywhere. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
The nation is welcome to 44 new U.S. citizens on this 4th of July holiday.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
The 44 new Americans are from 26 nations.
There's an electrician among you, a banker. There's a college counselor,
Vice President Pence greeted the new citizens at the National Archives in Washington, home to the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution.
You followed the law. You went through the process to immigrate into
to this great nation.
The Trump administration has featured a hard-line immigration policy, which the president says is meant to keep the country safe. Rita Foley, Washington. 3 days after U.S.-North Korean leaders led an historic meeting, North Korea's UN mission is accusing the Trump administration of talking about talks, but being more and more hell-bent on hostile acts.
Press statement from the mission pointed a finger at U.S. efforts to exert what it called overt pressure and have the world's nations implement UN sanctions. The United States and 23 other countries accused the DPRK of violating UN sanctions by importing far more than the annual limit of 500,000 barrels of refined petroleum products, which are key for its economy. North Korea's UN mission said the United States and others sent a joint letter to all UN member states on the same day that President Trump proposed the North Korea-US summit meeting, calling for repatriation of DPRK workers abroad. I'm Karen Chalmers.
Meantime, Vladimir Putin and Pope Francis sat down for a conversation today.
Russian President Vladimir Putin thanked Pope Francis for their nearly one-hour talks at the Vatican today, calling the discussion very substantive and interesting. Although Putin was 1 hour late to his appointment with the Pope, he welcomed him with a warm handshake. The Vatican issued a statement after their meeting, saying the talks focused on the situations in Syria, Ukraine, and Venezuela. Sabina Castelfranco, CBS News, Rome.
Federal authorities are investigating after a Norwegian air jet spewed a large amount of fuel across parts of Orlando Airport during an emergency landing. The incident happened last weekend after the pilot reported a loss in the aircraft's primary hydraulic system. The flight has taken off as well across the Atlantic Ocean when it reversed course and returned to Orlando. Small business report coming up, WBPM News Time 152.
I had my whole life ahead of me. Basically, the picture of health. Everything changed. I'm Christina, and at 26, I had an arteriovenous malformation that caused a brain hemorrhage. My best friend rushed me to Northwestern Memorial Hospital.
Northwestern Medicine is on a relentless pursuit of better neurology care.
After 2 complex brain surgeries in 2 months, I started the toughest fight of my life, learning how to walk, talk, basically be me again.
For 12 straight years, Northwestern Memorial Hospital has the highest-ranked program in Illinois for neurology and neurosurgery by U.S. News and World Report.
Now I'm fully recovered and lead a support group for other people who have had brain conditions. I credit Northwestern Medicine and my best friend for saving my life. It's been a long road, but I'm back on my feet.
Because what makes us better makes you better. Northwestern Medicine. Learn more at nm.org/better. WBPM Business News now at 1:53, powered by ComEd's Energy Efficiency Program. You tell the difference between JetBlue and JetBlack.
You text us whatever you want, whether it is laundry detergent, a gift for a child's birthday, or just your shoes, and we get it to you.
When Walmart unveiled its new JetBlack concierge shopping service last year, JetBlack CEO Jenny Fleiss told Bloomberg how it works. Now Walmart is facing a lawsuit from the airline JetBlue, which claims trademark infringement. Bloomberg law reporter Blake Britton.
They think the use of a jet plus a color can cause confusion.
Walmart also intends to use Jet Gold and Jet Silver in its marketing. But it's not just the name that the discount carrier has problems with. JetBlue argues that some current and potential JetBlack products and services are similar to its own, including travel services.
So they mentioned other fields that, mentioned in Walmart's applications that they might expand into, and that included air transportation.
Walmart, in a statement, said it respected the rights of others and would respond appropriately in court. With business now at 23 and 53 past each hour, from the Bloomberg Newsroom, I'm Gina Cervetti, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
Heavy summer showers can be bad news for your basement and your plumbing lines. If you have water backing up in your bath or toilet, you may have a blocked sewer line. Get it checked out now by the specialists at Plumbers 911. Call Plumbers 911 at 1-833-PLUM-911. That's 1-833-PLUM-911.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I kept hearing about this stuff, you got this, you got that, I try it. I said, the worst thing I can do, it doesn't work, and I'll stop it after 3 months. So I always said I'd give it 3 months. My first thing was the energy, and that came back, and then another good thing, not craving the sugar. I guess it's building up in my system, and that's a good thing. So I've been on Valentine's nearly 5 months, but 2 years ago I had a partial knee surgery, and I used to wear the knee brace. 2 months ago, I stopped wearing it because I don't feel the stiffness. I'm assuming it had to do something to do with balance of nature.
From now until July 4th, receive a 30% discount and free shipping on your first preferred order of Balance of Nature. Also receive an extra $10 off any additional set of fruits and veggies you purchase. This offer will expire, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago News.
If you have frequent heartburn, take control of it with Prilosec OTC. Instead of stashing antacids everywhere, like in your junk drawer, buried under old batteries and hotel beds, or in your purse, hiding in the one pocket you won't check. You even have antacids on your nightstand, which are very hard to see in the dark. It's time you stopped stashing antacids and started taking Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
Impossible with Prilosec OTC. Use it directed for 14 days, not for immediate relief.
WBBM and HD Chicago, WCFS-FM and HD1 Elmwood Park, Chicago.
WBBM News Time 157, a prominent Republican congressman says he's leaving the party.
U.S. Representative from West Michigan, Justin Amash, writing an op-ed in the Washington Post this morning, saying that he's leaving the Republican Party and will now identify as an independent. He writes, quote, "In recent years, I've become disenchanted with party politics and frightened by what I see from it. The two-party system has evolved into an existential threat to American principles and institutions." Amash became the first Republican to call for an impeachment investigation into President Trump after the Mueller report was released earlier this year. Dan Jenkins for CBS News, Detroit.
A Florida judge letting a baby's father take her home almost 2 months after she was found in an apartment complex trash bin as a newborn. The girl's 34-year-old mother is in jail, charged with child abuse and attempted murder. The baby's father says he didn't know his girlfriend was pregnant until she was arrested, and that he plans to name the baby Sarah. WBBM News Time, 158, traffic and weather together on the 8th. Here's Laura Vaughn.
Ames Expressway, 19 minutes in either direction between Lake Cook and the Kennedy. Kennedy 10 to the junction, 23 to O'Hare, 25 in from O'Hare, 15 from the junction, 8 in the Express. Outbound I clear, 29 to 390, 34 in from 390, 21 from Manheim. Stevenson, half an hour back and forth between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. That's as fast as it goes. Northbound I-55 south of I-80 is jammed from Lorenzo to Arsenal with road work in the left lane. Dan Ryan outbound 18, inbound 19, I-57 15 in either direction. Outbound Ford 17, inbound 19. Lakeshore Drive slow through Grant Park around Chicago, and northbound approaching Hollywood. Traffic is sponsored by Art Van Pure Sleep Mattress Stores for Chicagoland by Tempur-Pedic. Get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
So far, so good for our Independence Day celebrations. Warm and humid, clouds and sun, perfect pool or lake day. Outside activities encouraged today. Maybe some rain in the afternoon. We'll keep you posted with a high of 88. Showers and thunderstorms early tonight, possibly, with a low of 74. Right now, partly sunny, 86 degrees at 159.
Traffic and weather together on the 8th. Sports at 16 and 46. Businesses 23 and 53. From the Fifth Third Bank Studios. Fifth Third means business. This is Chicago's all-news station. A radio.com station. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM. WBBM.
Coming up in the next half hour on News Radio WBBM, a 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit Southern California in San Bernardino County. More coming up from CBS News.
I'm Steve Miller in Humboldt Park, where one man has been shot and killed and 3 others wounded in a drive-by.
A woman claims she was sexually assaulted at the near West Side building that singer R. Kelly once used as his studio. WBBM Sports.
This is George Hoffman. 4th inning on the south side. Sox and Tigers are scoreless while the Cubs try to avoid a 4-game sweep at Pittsburgh in a little while.
Warm and humid, a chance for afternoon showers today with a high of 88. Perfect now, partly sunny, 86 degrees. It's 2 o'clock.
It's CBS News on the hour. Real news, real reporting.
I'm Matt Piper. Earthquake in Southern California. Lucy Jones is a seismologist with the U.S. Geological Survey.
At 10:33 this morning, we had a magnitude 6.4 earthquake. It was located about 10 miles away from the city of Ridgecrest.
Ridgecrest is 145 miles northeast of Los Angeles, and crews in that town say they're responding to at least 24 medical and fire incidents in the area. Margaret Stewart is with the LA Fire Department.
We have all 106 of our neighborhood fire stations are now in what we call earthquake mode, which means they will conduct a strategic survey of the over 470 square miles in Greater Los Angeles area to ensure that there's safety across the board.
Correspondent Carter Evans says it was felt from the CBS News Los Angeles Bureau.
There was this rolling feeling
that seemed to gain momentum for a while. We could see the lights in the studio swinging back and forth. I think we were all trying to think if it was going to be a good opportunity to get outside. And by the time we all started to mobilize, the shaking started to slow down.
There have been more than 30 aftershocks. The quake was felt as far away as Las Vegas. In Washington, D.C., crowds lining the street in the nation's capital to enjoy a parade featuring flags and music ahead of President Trump's promised Salute to America show at the National Mall.
In the shadow of the Lincoln Memorial, military muscle will serve as a backdrop to President Trump's remarks, along with military aircraft for several thousand VIP guests and members of the public. The event itself is also prompting protests, with demonstrators inflating a 20-foot-tall balloon of President Trump as an angry baby. Opponents say he's co-opting Independence Day and wasting taxpayer money.
That's correspondent Steve Dorsey in Washington. More than 24 naturalization ceremonies are being held around the country to welcome new Americans on this 4th of July. Vice President Mike Pence spoke at the ceremony for 44 new Americans at the National Archives.
For those of you who stepped forward today, who made the sacrifices and went through the process, let me say, on behalf of President Donald Trump and on behalf of the American people, welcome the American family.
Mad, the long-running satirical magazine that influenced everyone from Weird Al Yankovic to the writers of The Simpsons, will be leaving newsstands after its August issue. It's been around for 67 years. This is CBS News.
She's brought us the world. Now she brings us truth and understanding right when we need it most. The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell, July 15th.
This is Chicago's all-news station. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM and WBBMNewsRadio.com. WBBM News Time 2:03. It's Thursday, the 4th of July. Good afternoon. I'm Jim Goodis. 88 degrees are expected high for the day. We reached it. We could see some locally heavy rain at times, so keep it here for the latest, and we'll have the complete WBBM AccuWeather 5-day forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Our top local story on News Radio WBBM. One man is dead, 3 others wounded after a late morning shooting in Chicago's Humboldt Park neighborhood. The very latest from WBBM's Steve Miller.
If you talk to neighbors on Hope near Iowa, many tell you this is not an especially quiet street like Donya Rios. She lives at the corner of Hope in Iowa, and she says she heard the shots and then looked outside and saw 2 men lying on the street.
Southern violence here. We're not safe. I have kids. I have 2 little kids, and we're always inside the house because we're scared to come outside.
Someone else on the block says the problem is gangs and that his friends were the ones shot. We asked if he's in a gang, and he tells us he's not going to answer. In Humboldt Park, Steve Miller, News Radio 105.9 FM.
A woman claims she was sexually assaulted at the near West Side building that singer R. Kelly once used as his studio. Police say the woman was found early this morning at the corner of Loomis and Carroll, a few blocks from Kelly's former studio. Doctors at Rush Hospital treated the woman for sexual assault. Chicago police would not confirm reports that the woman was attacked by 3 males and then thrown out the back door of a building that housed Kelly's studio. Mayor Lightfoot was among the marchers in today's 4th of July parade in Hyde Park on the city's south side.
I started my life in Chicago in Hyde Park. I spent 3 years here when I was in law school. So I have very, very fond memories of Hyde Park. I actually marched in this parade last year when I was campaigning.
Lightfoot points out this parade is special because it's intended to have more marchers than spectators. She's the first sitting mayor to take part in the parade in its 25-year history. 7 people are now charged with vandalizing the Bean in Millennium Park and walls in the Cancer Survivors Garden in the adjacent Maggie Daly Park, with 2 of them appearing in court this afternoon.
2 of the suspects, Tino Guzman and Ray Ortega, both 20, are charged with felony criminal damage to government property and misdemeanor criminal trespassing on state land. Police say they were identified by park security as being the ones who spray-painted 35th crew on the Bean and other graffiti in the Cancer Survivors Garden late Monday night. 20-year-olds Angel Diaz, Robert Rickland, and Guadalupe Carrillo are also charged with misdemeanor trespassing, as is 21-year-old Chastity Guzman. A 17-year-old boy was cited for being in a park after hours. Mayor Lightfoot expressed outrage after the incident and said she would follow what happens with the prosecution of these individuals very closely. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 FM.
The war of words continues between Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox and the head of the Fraternal Order of Police.
Fox now wants a meeting with FOP President Kevin Graham, saying he seems more interested in making news rather than progress, settling their differences. This follows Graham's assertion that Fox can't be trusted to prosecute cases involving officers. Fox says her office has approved charges in 96% of the cases in which a police officer was the victim of a crime, and that the office has a conviction rate of 89% in those cases. He calls Graham's assertions of a lack of trust a publicity stunt. Bob Conway, News Radio 105.9 FM.
A reminder, we've got a complete list of fireworks shows throughout the area. You'll find all of them at WBBMNewsRadio.com/fireworks. Coming up, traffic, weather, and why those fireworks are scaring the heck out of some of our pets. WBBM News Time 2:07.
China, Chile, the Netherlands, Naperville. People come from all over to visit Chicago. But not everyone comes for the pizza. This tower. Some come to get their lives back. They come to the Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, the #1 rehabilitation hospital in the world for 28 years straight. Patients come from 70 countries. They come to recover from a stroke, or cancer, or a neurological condition. They come for pioneering science, the best clinical care. They come because no distance is too far when you're trying to get your life back. The best recovery place on the planet is right here in Chicago. Some call this the second city, but for people who've been dealt a tough blow, it's the city of second chances. Shirley Ryan Ability Lab. Destination Ability.
Shirley Ryan Ability Lab, the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago, radically transformed.
It may be tempting to choose the first waterproofer that offers a quick fix, but Permaseal is worth the wait. With permanent solutions and transferable warranties, you know who to call. Permaseal at 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
WBBM News Time 2:08. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. Sponsored by Permaseal. Here's Laura Vaughn.
Good afternoon, Jim, and a good afternoon to be on the road. Things moving fairly well. That's definitely better than a regular weekday. Being a holiday, the East is okay. A 19-minute trip in either direction. But heads up for some possible police activity around Wilson that might close some lanes in either direction. Kennedy 10 to the junction, 8 in the Express, which have now flipped outbound. 23 to O'Hare, 23 in from O'Hare, and 13 in from the junction. Eisenhower 16 to Manheim, 29 to 390, 33 in from 390, 20 from Manheim. Stevenson, all right, half an hour in either direction between 355 and Lakeshore Drive. I-55 northbound south of I-80 is heavy from Lorenzo to Arsenal. Long-term roadwork set up in the left lane. Dan Ryan, 18 outbound and 20 inbound. The outbound delays on the south end. Inbound delays downtown. I-57, 15 minutes in either direction. Bishop Ford also 15 in either direction. Lakeshore Drive is heavy Chicago northbound Lawrence to Hollywood. And this is because Montrose Beach is to capacity. They're not letting any more cars in there. They're suggesting you take public transportation. Tri-State, Jane Addams, Ronald Reagan, Veterans, 390, Route 53 and I-80, all okay. 8094 eastbound, so from I-65 to 4 Ripley. I-65 and the Indiana Toll Road are moving at a decent pace. They do expect street closures in the suburbs for parades and fireworks. Get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
The WBBM AccuWeather forecast. Not a bad 4th of July, though here and there we could see some heavy storms pop up. So be prepared. We'll keep you posted here on News Radio WBBM. We've already reached our high of 88 for the day. For tonight, a shower or thunderstorm around early, mostly cloudy, warm and muggy with a low of 74. And for tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sun, quite warm and humid with a shower or thunderstorm. A high again tomorrow of 88. Right now it's 86 along Chicago's lakefront. It's 88 in Downers Grove, 88 at Midway, and 88 at O'Hare. Again, we've reached our high for the day, heading down to a possibly rainy low of 74 tonight. WBBM News Time 2:10. The day after 4th of July tends to be one of the busiest days of the year for animal shelters. Kelly Konzersky runs Chicago's Animal Care and Control. She says fireworks can traumatize dogs and cats. And if they're left outside unsecured, many run away out of fear and they end up at shelters.
So people that leave their dogs out in the yard, you know, the fireworks are going off, they can jump the fence or crawl under the fence. They're not going to react like they normally would because they're afraid. And so they come into our shelter
And if they're not microchipped or identified, we have a really hard time getting them home.
She says the city's shelter is already at capacity. The shelter currently houses about 280 dogs and 170 cats. Many Chicago area communities are celebrating the 4th of July with their annual fireworks show. Munster in northwest Indiana had its yearly fireworks display last night in Centennial Park. Valerie Boylan crossed the state line from Lansing to bring her 3-year-old daughter as well as some nieces and nephews to watch the show. She explains what fascinates the children.
Probably just how colorful they are, and just, you never know, it's something new, it's different.
Do they ever get scared by the boom?
I feel like when they first go off, they get a little bit scared, but as the show goes on, they realize it's a fun thing. They like it.
Boylan says while Munster's fireworks show was spectacular, she says what was much more fun for her was seeing the looks on her daughter's face as she was mesmerized by all those sights and sounds. If you're thinking about having your own fireworks show, be careful. Dr. Thomas Kiesler is a hand surgeon at Central DuPage Hospital where he treats fireworks-related injuries.
From soft tissue injuries and burns from the blast that can be easily repaired to the more serious injury where even from a firecracker or a bottle rocket you can have bone, soft tissue injuries that are not repairable, and then you're left with an amputation.
Safety experts urge people to leave fireworks to professionals. We'll see how the weather looks for tonight's fireworks displays, and we'll get the latest in sports next. WBBM News Time 2:13.
Celebrating fireworks in the 4th of July. Chicago's all-news station. News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
Summertime in Chicago. Best time of the year to get out and enjoy the city. Don't let parking stop you from getting to the best summer events the city has to offer. Spot Hero. Book your spot in advance wherever you're headed. Just download the Spot Hero app, type in your destination, and reserve. You can even use Spot Hero to park at the airport or search for monthly parking options near your work or home. Plus, you'll get a great deal. Get $10 off your first park with promo code 780. That's promo code 780. Spot Hero. Park smarter.
The savings are heating up at your Burlington store. What's hot? Gore swimsuits for the family. Available in endless styles and sizes. Shorts, tees, activewear, dresses, sandals. Burlington's packed with tons of brand name buy now, wear now looks for less. And don't miss out on the latest summer fashion. Some styles on clearance now. Hurry in and save up to 60% off other retailers' prices every day. Find your nearest Burlington store at burlington.com. Burlington. Style for everyone.
Exxon and Mobil present Holiday Super Premium. First, fill your tank with Exxon and Mobil's Premium Fuel. 2, Energy Supreme Plus. It keeps your engine 2 times cleaner for better gas mileage. Then keep the rest of your car 2 times cleaner. 5 rims are so shiny they can be seen from space. There's no pictures. So clean your engine with Exxon and Mobil's Energy Supreme Plus. It's Supreme. It's premium. It's Supreme. Fill up today or go to Exxon.com for details. Energy Supreme Plus gas compared to Synergy regular gas and more fuel injected engines. Benefits based on continuous use and may vary.
The Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram exclusive just announced with Chrysler Capital. 0% financing on new Jeep products. New Jeep Cherokee Latitude, Sports, Limited, Jeep Compasses, Renegades. 0% on all of them. Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, Overland, Summits. 0% on all of them. And make no payment until October. 500 new Jeeps direct from Detroit have just arrived at Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Oak Lawn with 0% financing. Bank reps on site with $25 million to lend. You will drive home today in a new Jeep at Man Carey's. New Jeep Cherokees, Latitudes, Sports, Limited, 0%. New Jeep Grand Cherokees, Limited, Overlands, Summits, 0%. Jeep Compasses, Renegade, yep, 0%. And make no payments till October. Don't forget, this Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and Chrysler Capital exclusive offer can only be found in one place and one place only. Man Carey Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on 95th Street in Oak Lawn.
Credit until the college was taxed on the license and not paid. WBBM News Time 2:15. Now the AccuWeather 5-day forecast sponsored by Mega Pros Home Improvement and Remodeling. Here's meteorologist Bob Larson.
We'll see very warm and humid this afternoon. A mixture of clouds with sunshine will be. This far without any storms, but the conditions are ripe for shower thunderstorm activity to develop later on. A high temperature in the around first time this evening. The rest of the time, mostly plenty of muggy and a low of 74. Still very warm, still humid tomorrow. Mix of clouds and sun. The shower thunderstorm, best chance coming with the afternoon, high 88. Over this weekend, clouds, limited sun on Saturday, breezy, the shower or two, high 78. Mostly sunny Sunday, high 78. Clouds are turning warmer heading into next week. Mostly sunny on Monday, high 82. Partly sunny Tuesday, high 84. Rain
WBBM News Time 2:16. Our new time for sports sponsored by ABC Plumbing, Sewage, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Here's George Altman.
Jason Hayward missed last night's game in Pittsburgh, and Ryan was out. Wilson Contreras had to play right, made a nifty catch, threw out a brother trying to score as well, but couldn't catch up with a catchable ball in the ninth, leading to another loss. Well, Bryant is back and playing right field today, but Hayward is still out for the series finale in Pittsburgh.
He's feeling better. He's not 100% by any means, but he's feeling better. So he's going to do what he needs to do, and then during the game tell me the latter part of the game if it's necessary, if we go or not. I told him, I said, listen, I don't want you just to say that just to get out there based on what happened last night.
Joe Madden also has Romel Garcia at second, and they can count on the mound as the Cubs try to avoid the 4-game sweep. They trail the Brewers by a game, and right now the Brewers are trailing the Reds 1-0. That game's in the third. Ronaldo Lopez is flawless through 3, but he gives up a two hits rather, and a run in the fourth. So the Tigers beat the White Sox now 1-0 as they try for the sweep and the 500 mark rather. Nats beat the Marlins 5-2. They won 26 of their last 36, and they're still 5.5 behind the Braves. Reimer Torres headed to the All-Star team. What's most noteworthy about that? Only 2 other Yankees made the All-Star team before the age of 23. Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, and company. Rafa Nadal, winner at Wimbledon. So is Roger Federer and Sam Querrey. Johnson is knocked out. On the ladies' side, top seed Ash Barty advanced. That's Serena Williams and Sloane Stephens. But 5th seed Angelique Kerber was ousted. Sports now at 16:46 on your home for the Bears. George Altman, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
WBBM News Time 2:18. Traffic and weather together on the 8th, sponsored by Hint Water. Here's Laura Vaughn.
Here's a hint. Lakefront parking lots are full. The city is urging people to use public transportation. Montrose Beach is full. They're not letting anybody else in there. And the Edens is fine. It's a 19-minute trip in either direction, although we do have reports of police activity around Wilton. Spur westbound a little busy approaching the toll plaza construction. Kennedy 10 to the junction, 8 in the express, 23 to O'Hare. Inbound 23 from O'Hare and 13 from the junction. Eisenhower outbound all clear. 16 to Manheim, 29 to 390. 33 and from 390, 20 from Manheim. Slow to the downtown area. Stevenson moves well. That's a half-an-hour trip in either direction between 355 and Shore Drive. I-55 goes south of I-80. Slow northbound from Lorenzo to Arsenal. The road work in the left lane. Dan Ryan at 20 minutes in and out of downtown from 95th Street. Inbound delays downtown. Outbound on the south end. I-57 and the 40, 15-minute trip in either direction. Lakeshore Drive southbound slow around the Oak Street curve to Chicago. Northbound Lawrence to Hollywood. All of your Illinois tollways. Route 53 and I-80 doing fine. Northwest Indiana 80-94 eastbound slow from I-65 to 4 Ripley. I-94, I-65, and the Indiana Toll Road, all moving at a decent pace at this time. Traffic is sponsored by Hint Water. Hint is pure, still or sparkling water infused with a variety of fruit essences, including watermelon, blackberry, and cherry. No sugar, no sweeteners, no calories. Available in your local grocery store or at drinkhint.com. Hint, mouth-watering water. Get traffic and weather together on the 8th every 10 minutes on News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
The WBBM AccuWeather forecast. Watch out for occasional storms that could pop up this afternoon, and they could come out of nowhere, so be prepared. Otherwise, we've got a mix of sun and clouds. We've already reached our high of 88. For tonight, a shower or thunderstorm around early, mostly cloudy, warm and muggy, a low of 74. And for tomorrow, interval of clouds and sun, quite warm and humid, again with showers or thunderstorms possible. The high again tomorrow, 88. Right now, it's 88 in Joliet. It's 86 along Chicago's lakefront, 89 in Orland Park, 86 at Midway, 88 at O'Hare. Again, heading down to a possibly stormy low of 74. WBBM News Time 2:20. Our top story this hour, a large earthquake has rattled a large area of Southern California. The quake measured with a preliminary magnitude of 6.4 struck near the town of Ridgecrest, California. That's about 150 miles northeast of Los Angeles. U.S. Geological Survey seismologist Dr. Lucy Jones.
I personally started counting, but I was on the phone when it started, so I'm not quite sure I got the beginning right. I got about 10 seconds of shaking at my house here in Pasadena.
Oh, how did you know?
I felt it. Just like everybody else.
We'll have much more on this story coming up at 2:31. A West Suburban School District will keep its junior high sports programs after all.
After voters rejected a referendum to increase the operating tax rate last April, Oswego District 308 prepared to shift junior high sports into an intramural program. The move would have saved $350,000 a year. Instead of a program where students play competitively district-wide with coaches, the intramural participants would have competed without coaches. District officials tell the Beacon News the coaches agreed to lower stipends in order to make ends meet. Rob, News Radio 105.9 FM.
WBBM News Time 2:21.
With the American Academy of Pediatrics, I'm Dr. Don Schifrin. If a bee or wasp stings your child, it's important to get the stinger out as soon as possible. Quickly but gently scrape across the exposed stinger with a flat edge, such as a credit card. Try not to squeeze the stinger, which could well inject more venom into the wound. Continue gentle scraping until the stinger is out. Some children may develop a strong reaction after a bee sting. Signs of a severe reaction include nausea and swelling of the lips and tongue, dizziness, or difficulty breathing. If you or another child develops any of these symptoms, call 911 immediately. And if your child has been tested and found to be very allergic to bee and wasp stings, talk with your pediatrician about prescribing an epinephrine injector to always be with you in case of a sting. With a Minute for Kids, I'm Dr. Don Schifrin for News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
Coming up, lowering the high cost of hydrogen for drivers. WBBM News Time 2:22. From Bloomberg, here's Ed Corey.
Hydrogen has been touted as the fuel of the future for nearly 5 decades. Its high cost has kept that from happening. But the International Energy Agency says it's for real this time, as the world seeks to reduce carbon emissions. Governments, automakers, and even oil and gas giants are pushing for a larger role for hydrogen fuel. Carl Brower of Cox Automotive says it's a great fit for commercial use.
The airport shuttle bus that always goes the same route and is on kind of an industrial delivery-type vehicles.
But when it comes to powering cars and SUVs, Brower says hydrogen still faces some obstacles.
To create the storage systems on board the car, and then the infrastructure so that they'd be useful outside of a given radius of a given house would be much harder to justify.
In addition to transportation uses, hydrogen fuel can power steel factories and produce electricity. With business news now at 23 and 53 past each hour from the Bloomberg Newsroom, Ed Corey, News Radio 780 and 105.9 FM.
Coming up, what higher gas taxes in Illinois mean for gas stations along the state borders. WBBM News Time 2:24.
Visit Chevy for a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at the right price with the right option. Get the payment you want and the vehicle you deserve. Visit Webb Chevy today at 2 convenient locations in Oak Lawn or Plainfield.
Happy Independence Day from Tom's Price Home. Hi, this is Scott Price, inviting you to save 45% off any one piece of Tom's Price furniture during our 45 off for the 4th sale, now through Monday, July 8th. Celebrate with savings on sofas, tables, mattresses, seasonal outdoor furniture, and made in the USA Stickley. Save 15% on hand-knotted rugs in our new Tom's Price Home Rug Studio. Visit tomsprice.com for directions and store hours. All stores open July 4th, noon to 5 p.m.
New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline not only helps keep your engine running like new, it can also help you win big. When you fill up with a Fuel Rewards member, you'll be automatically entered in the Shell Grade Gas giveaway after purchasing 8 gallons or more, where you can win one of thousands of prizes, including free fuel for a year. To join, download the Fuel Rewards app or go to fuelrewards.com/win. In engines that continues to use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, no purchase necessary. Promotion ends 9/1/19. The official rules of fuelrewards.com/win. Rather enter by mail and all the vehicles.
You make a million tough business decisions every day, so here's the easiest one of the year. Tell Black Black Friday in July is back and bigger than ever. Get no-brainer deals on the very latest computers with Intel Core processors and a huge selection of servers, electronics, and more, all with free shipping on everything. To make your decision even easier, Dell Small Business Technology Advisors can help you find just the right tech. Call 877-BUY-DELL. That's an easy call to make at 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/smallbusiness.
WBBM News Time 2:26. Illinois gas station owners, especially near the state line, are already feeling the pinch after a major hike in taxes this week.
The price of a gallon of gas at Keene & Sons went from $3.09 to $3.35 overnight. Raleigh Keene says its two businesses on Chicago's south side are already losing business to the border.
The location on 111th and Tallman is only about a 20-minute drive from Indiana, and people have been going there for years, and this is just going to continue to push them to continue going to Indiana. And when they go there for gas, they grab their other things, their lottery, their cigarettes, their beverages, and whatnot. So, I mean, we're not only losing gallons sold, but also our other merchandise that we would sell.
Keene says while his family business is down for now, the stations are full service. So he hopes that niche will keep his loyal customers coming back once sticker shock eases. Fielding News Radio, 105.9 FM.
Meanwhile, the top public health official in Illinois believes this month's rise in the legal age to buy tobacco in the state from 18 to 21 could greatly reduce smoking rates in the long term. Dr. Ngaze Nzike says statistics show 95% of Illinois smokers started before they were 21.
We do think that there's a higher rate of addiction the earlier you start. So being able to delay someone's onset, that might also decrease people's addiction rates as well.
She also says raising the legal tobacco purchasing age